dangerous persons into the country or enabling asylum seekers who may pose significant threats to public safety and national security to continue to reside in the United States.
Hi guys, welcome back to XCOM 2.
Are still brushing off the threats.
Run 18.
Do you think that President Biden's border
That's not
policy
too bad.
is putting Americans at risk for another 9/11?
We should be making sure that we have
Let's see.
border policy, and I'll continue to support the president, making sure we strengthen our balance.
Republicans to stop opposing additional resources for more Border Patrol agents and other DHS personnel to help continue to enforce the law. The fact that they were identified and detained, and we know where they are, is them doing their job.
Suspected terrorists illegally entering the United States is reportedly up 2,500% under the Biden administration.
That's not good.
No.
Should be zero. Brooke, thank you. Meantime, busy Brad, question mark, the Manhattan DA says he will not appear on Capitol Hill today as House Republicans hold a hearing on former President Trump's New York trial. Bragg citing scheduling conflicts. He is set to testify, though, on July 12th, just one day after Trump's sentencing. Federal Election Commissioner Trey Traynor and Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey set to testify today at today's hearing, and they join me now. Trey, you notice I emphasized the election in your title. I guess we're finally set to hear from somebody who actually understands how election law works. Juan Merchan cannot silence you. What are the top points, Trey, you're going to try and drive home today?
Well, the most important point is that Judge Merchan completely obliterated what's been longstanding federal election law with the jury charge that he gave, asking the jury whether Donald Trump had willfully contributed to a campaign, and the legal standard has long been knowing and willful standard, so he's completely upended that standard. And it's one of those things where the Department of Justice should have intervened early in this case and protected the jurisdiction of the federal government to enforce federal campaign finance law. They didn't protect the jurisdiction of the Federal Election Commission, and it's completely perplexing why they didn't do that. There's a long-standing Supreme Court precedent that says that they should have.
And it's just how law works. People always fight over jurisdiction. They never give that up, and in this case, it was ceded so easily. Andrew, Democrats, of course, are going to try and flip the script, calling to playing politics, and they're going to make this point, Andrew, A.G. Bradley, they really follow the facts.
It's important that the American people understand the goal here was never to convict President Trump of the crime. It was always to remove him from the campaign trail. Now, this is a presidential candidate that has a right to speak, and that we as a people have a right to access. It's done immeasurable damage to our democratic republic, and we've got to hold wrongdoers accountable.
Let's focus on this Matthew Colangelo, Alvin Bragg dichotomy here at A.G. Bailey, because the number 3 starter right now in the Yankees rotation is not waving his hand and saying, please send me to single A so I can ply my craft. What possible reason could Matthew Colangelo, the number 3 at the Department of Justice, have to leave the DOJ, go down to the Manhattan DA, if not for his desire to help the Democrats and get Trump?
Yeah, the DOJ may not have intervened to reassert the jurisdiction of the FEC. That's the appropriate legal avenue for the DOJ. But instead what they did was deploy resources to the state of New York and the former Matthew Colangelo, like he said, the former third-ranking official in Biden's Department of Justice, who led the trial court prosecution against President Trump on behalf of Alvin Bragg. So he takes a pay cut to go work in state court. He's politically motivated. Those prosecutors should have been disqualified from prosecuting that case. There was no case to begin with. A subsequent prosecutor that the court could have appointed would have identified that and dismissed it before it got this far. And again, if Biden is behind this whole thing, I mean, he has managed the Department of Justice that also administers grants on behalf of the Soros-backed Vera Institute to Alvin Bragg's office with the intent of dismantling the criminal justice system. So while Alvin Bragg is ignoring crime in the subways and on the city streets, he is being trained to weaponize the criminal justice system against Biden's political opponents.
Trey, quick final word to you. If we don't stop this lawfare right now in its tracks, can our century-old justice system survive?
No, it can't. And we have a big threat to the First Amendment and whether or not candidates can actually run for office in any state, because we'll have turned loose all the prosecutors across the country, whether they be state or local prosecutors, to go after individual candidates for perceived violations of campaign finance law.
Thank you for what you're about to do on Capitol Hill today. The world, and especially our country, needs to hear it. Trey Trainer, Andrew Bailey, thank you. Meantime, former President Trump just posted his second TikTok. He's in an interview with Logan Paul.
Less intimidating, that part didn't though. They softened it up at the end. Plus, President Biden and former President Trump will be laying out their agendas to business leaders today. Cheryl Kassomi is here with full stories coming up next.
It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. Just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the If you have Graves' disease, your eye symptoms could mean something more. That gritty feeling can't be brushed away. Even a little blurry vision can distort things, and something serious may be behind those itchy eyes. Up to 50% of people with Graves could develop a different condition called thyroid eye disease, which should be treated by a different doctor. See an expert. Find a TED eye specialist at isitted.com.
We believe at New Day USA, we have a noble purpose. Our purpose is not just closing the line. We want to do whatever is best for the individual service person. We want to be known as America's mortgage company for veterans and active duty service people. And they and their families, we're the ones that are there to help them. People are doing hard, arduous, difficult, dangerous things. Some of them are in their lives today for the freedoms that we have. And for our family. So for us, at New Day, to have the opportunity to turn around and help those people at this point in time, it's a labor of love, it's a noble service, and that's what we're all about.
No one takes care of veterans like New Day USA.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But most guys don't do anything about it because
What the fuck is this shit?
Don't really understand skincare. They think it's too expensive and they don't believe that anything actually works. But here's the thing. Most guys are wrong because there are actually ways to reduce your eye bags, and one of the easiest, Article 601 face cream, actually works really well. And most guys actually can afford it. Because it's 601 formula means you're getting 6 products packed into one. Just wash your face and then massage a part of the mouth every day. Before you know it, you're looking younger than, well, most guys. But forget about most guys. Just be you. A younger version of you. You can order right now at partofmen.com. We've got free shipping in the United States, plus 30-day money-back guarantee.
We have a new home. What's next? We have a garage door that doesn't lift, and we have a gate that doesn't open.
So I went on Angie. It took me just a handful of minutes.
The vendors who came through Angie, you were more knowledgeable. They did high quality work.
They wanted us to be happy with the work done as well.
We felt like we got the most value out of the contractor that we chose.
It is a beautiful garage, I have to say.
Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Get started today at Angie.com.
Tonight, Trump's been gagged in a cage all spring, but now he is on the loose.
As the former president works to unify his party in D.C., Jesse has critical analysis on Prime Time.
Hello.
No real name. No problems. A very wealthy man who's about $50 million.
Last 2 years that I've been on my own, it's been really challenging to make ends meet. You know, where you can see things like food, keeping the cost of food down, help with groceries and other activities that you can that it's always done with a smile. Thanks to
What the fuck is this? Oh, these are my guys.
Former President Donald Trump will be back on Capitol Hill today for the first time since leaving office, as he and President Biden plan dueling pitches to big business.
Pretty interesting. Cheryl, the Sunny Correspondent with Fox Business joins us now. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, good morning. So President Trump is going to be in Washington. He's going to be meeting with the Business Roundtable, but also talking to the business leaders, which he has been doing. He's making the pitch that if you re-elect me, I am going to lower taxes even more. I'm going to actually deregulate even more. And then you've got Janet Yellen, who's going to be speaking at the Economic Club of New York today. She's going to make the opposite pitch to business leaders here in New York, and she's going to say, we don't believe in trickle-down economics. We think that it has to be a public-private partnership, and we think that the way that we're handling the economy is the best way to do it. Most Americans, if you look at the polls, disagree with her. And we'll get to that. But if you look at the polls as far as the general election coming up in November, Pennsylvania really in play now. And look at this. We now see this new poll that shows that the former president leads Biden by 2 points in Pennsylvania. By the way, Joe Biden was born in Pennsylvania. And then look at this from the Economist, this is a really good one. They show that former President Trump has a 2/3 chance of winning the election in November. And they do that by taking a deep dive into, in particular, the swing states. It's all going to come down to the swing states. Biden won them in 2020. Donald Trump in 2016 won 5 of the 6. So, we've got a few months to go, but that's what the polls are telling us.
Biden's tax plan doesn't just hurt big business. Biden's tax plan hurts everybody, and I don't think Republicans are doing a good enough job driving that point home. It'll be interesting to see in the next 5 months if they do.
Yeah.
So Trump is going after the youth vote, and he's doing it vis-a-vis a guy named Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, 29-year-old Logan Paul, and his brother. So Logan Paul has a podcast, and he appeared in a TikTok that the former president actually posted. But yes, Donald Trump is going to be, or I think it looks like they've already taped it. So here's Jake Paul saying young Americans want somebody to fight in the White House. Watch.
It doesn't have to do with Democrat or Republican. It's about which president is going to fight for us and who's going to represent us the best way possible. And that's really what the young people in America want. We want solutions. We don't want all this marketing. We don't want all the BS put in front of us.
So that youth vote, again, was critical for Joe Biden in 2020. That youth vote, if you look at UFC fights where President Trump just attended one in New Jersey, the youth vote is saying we're not happy about the economy either. Gen Z, number one issue for them, they can't afford a house.
Yeah, totally. And it was interesting to see the face-to-face shot between the former president and Jake Paul. Speaking of fights, there was one last night.
Boy, I tell you, the congressional baseball game, every year something happens. Anyway, there was these protesters that jumped on the field, these climate activists trying to shut down the game. The group that's responsible for what you're seeing on your screen right now said, quote, 8 of us have been arrested, for shutting down the congressional baseball game. They are behind bars right now. Make no mistake, it's the members of Congress who should be locked up. But by the way, they're all going to be facing federal charges. They were arrested by U.S. Capitol Police. This is a charity event, which seems to get lost. We go into politics so quickly, as this group did. This game, the Democrats and Republicans raising money for charity, but let's disrupt it.
And private people try and do this at the congressional baseball game every single year. You see the flyers all over Washington, D.C., but this year they jumped down the field.
I don't know. I think they really did persuade me to their side of the argument. Said no one ever.
We should
stop doing.
We should also mention Republicans won 31-11 against Democrats
They
for
did
their
it.
fourth straight win in
With
the
the
congressional
Yankees.
baseball game.
If you want to see a heavy hitter, watch Cheryl
Oh,
Casoni
boy, is
on
she.
Mornings with Maria, coming up in about 14 minutes from now. Casoni, thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
I will be paying you money later.
We'll take that money. Hillary Clinton just dropped an endorsement against a member of the squad, and progressives are lashing out at her. David Webb's going to join us live next.
But first, Lawrence Jones has a look at what's coming up on Fox and Friends. Morning, Lawrence.
I mean, do you really want her endorsement, though, in today's politics? I mean, she didn't lose. Maybe she can come to a strategy on why she finally lost that race. All right, guys, good morning, family. There's a jam-packed Thursday morning. President Biden touching down in Italy ahead of the G7, set to sign a security agreement with the Ukrainian President Zelensky today. This has Russian warships now flown just a few hundred miles off the U.S. shores in an apparent show of aggression. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall has the latest. And then we got Senator Ted Cruz, who's going to join us live to react to another major national security concern developing at our southern border. As our IG report warns of inadequate DHS vetting practices. This as we learn more about those 8 suspected terrorists who crossed the border illegally. Senator Tom Cotton on the national security implication. Plus, ear and birth control? That's the new Democratic strategy for winning over young voters. We'll get the pulse of the people on how effective it might be. All this plus Tom Mahomes' stark warning on border security. Then you got Riley Gaines on the latest victory for fairness in women's sports. Jeremy Hunt is going to react to Biden's opposing pay raise for our troops. This is a jam-packed Thursday morning and a Friday evening. See how it did.
Riley Green on Fox and Friends. Watch his must-see performance Friday.
Proud of what you say about where you're from. The heroes are daddies and mamas.
The All-American Summer Concert Series is Nose.
That feels so musty.
New Fast Acting Drop-In Pad. Excess moisture, eliminating musty odors.
Who are you?
I'm your inner child. Get in. Where's Robert? Keeps you going. Twerk gets you going. Oh, now we're twerking.
The totally torqued out crossover.
From real quality that starts in a factory to real performance in your backyard. Steel tools are as tough and dependable as the people who use them. This Father's Day, give them the gift that's built for Dad. Right now, save $20 on the MS-162 gas-powered chainsaw. Real steel.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But most guys don't do anything about it because most guys don't really understand skincare. They don't believe that anything actually works. Most guys, because there are actually a few ways to reduce your actually works. Most guys actually can afford it. Because it's 6 in 1 flight, getting 6 products packed into one. Just wash your face and then massage in particle for 30 seconds. Before you know it, you're looking younger than, well, most guys. But forget about most guys. Just be you. Not a younger version. You know, right now, HeartofMen.com, we've got
Fucking retard.
in the United States, plus 30-day money-back guarantee.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, then get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever, just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing our light slippers and sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen
Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0 buy one get one free for Kale sheets as low as $24.98. Buy slippers and sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
High blood pressure is known as the silent killer. Now, there's Respirin, the first ever FDA-cleared medical device, clinically proven to lower blood pressure.
The results I got
That's interesting.
were astounding. The blood pressure this morning was 110/79.
Multiple clinical trials report 82% of Respirin users reduced high blood pressure, and it was cleared to be sold without a prescription. We are so sure that Respirin will work for you, we guarantee it.
It's the best investments I've ever made in my life.
Go to Respirin.com now.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, I thought I'd buy stilts. Being so tall definitely has its advantages. You gonna get up?
Thanks. Hi, honey, ready to go?
Yep. There it is. There it is. There we go. I guess it also has some disadvantages.
Yes, it does.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Sure I am.
The war in Gaza is a growing challenge for President Biden.
At least 1,000 migrants are illegally crossing right here every day.
The majority of those suspected terrorists were arrested right here in New York City.
Only on Fox News Channel.
We're back with a Fox News alert. A mob of anti-Israel protesters vandalizing the Cal State Los Angeles campus overnight after taking over the first floor of the Student Services building and completely just vandalizing that campus right outside LA.
It's still happening. Chanley Painter joins us now with all the details here. Hi, Chanley.
Hey, Carly and Todd. It's all happening after nearly 6 weeks of peaceful encampment at Cal State Los Angeles when it escalated rapidly Wednesday. Pro-Palestinian protesters began blocking the entrances and exits to the Student Services building on campus. The windows of the building were vandalized and campus furniture was overturned, blocking doors. They were also seen looting and damaging nearby stores. The university spokesperson said the group of up to 100 protesters
I don't like it.
first floor, causing the employees, including the university president reportedly, on the upper floors to shelter in place for hours. But staff members are now safe and sound. Meanwhile, law enforcement officers from various agencies gathered nearby and helicopters buzzed overhead. The Gaza Solidarity Encampment Group claimed to be staging a sit-in.
We're trying to get our money taken away from the genocide that's happening in Gaza. We've been ignored for half the time that we've been there, and we're trying to be ignored. We have folks that have chained themselves to the front door of the building. They will not unchain themselves until we have a commitment from the university president to divest university funds.
And these anti-Israel protests on campuses continue across the nation. As they do, a planned committee hearing in the House is actually set on anti-Semitism and vandalism at colleges and universities. It's taking place, guys, later this morning.
All right, Chanley Painter, live for us, Chanley. Thank you. Listen to this. Hillary Clinton just stunned Democrats by throwing out an endorsement in one of the party's biggest primaries. The failed presidential candidate is backing Westchester County Executive George Latimer, who was challenging incumbent squad member Jamal Bowman for a congressional seat in New York's 16th district. Clinton writing on X, with Trump on the ballot, we need strong, principled Democrats in Congress more than ever. Congress George Latimer will protect abortion rights, stand up to the NRA, and fight for President Biden's agenda just like he's always done.
David Webb is a host of The David Webb Show and a Fox News contributor. David joins us now. David, what do you make of this den-on-den violence? The queen of the establishment in Hillary Clinton versus the squad.
Let's go down a different road. Donors to the Clinton Foundation, people like over the years you've had Haim Saban, George Soros, names sound familiar? The Jewish Fund, Chicago, big donor organizations. Hillary Clinton's got to protect the Clinton Foundation. Hillary Clinton doesn't care between the two. At one point she said, I'm the most progressive, but she was running against Donald Trump, right? She was her progressive credential. Jamal Bowman upset the money cart, not the apple cart politically, and she's protecting it. Her endorsement of Latimer, well, pretty much irrelevant. A lot of endorsements are, to be honest, but irrelevant. Latimer already shows a lot of lead, not a strong polling against Bowman. Bowman's a known liar. He committed a crime in the House by pulling the fire alarm. This guy is damaged goods, and in former Westchester County executive against a progressive Democrat. It's kind of a straightforward. So Clinton's protecting her donor base.
Well, yeah, but Clinton doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the polling already shows before this endorsement that Jamal Bowman is down 17.
Yeah, the alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah.
And a lot of people say that it's because of his stance on Israel. Remember when he came out and supported a lot of these protests and what's going on? People in his district don't like that.
No, and again, combine all of that, again, the bad press, but really, think about how the Clintons have survived. They know how to play the game as it goes along. And they're getting a lot of pushback from these funds and these major donors. And think about it, George Soros' organizations fund a lot of this. We've seen that, the money trails established, but George Soros also donates to the Clinton Foundation. So it's an interesting insight.
With the Clintons, it's always about the money, and you can always follow
over $3 billion plus.
The public service, David Wade. So what are your thoughts on this? Nathan Wade did an interview with CNN, and this is not a joke, this is real. His media consultant actually interrupted after he was asked about his relationship with Fulton County DA Fonnie Audio issues. Watch this.
There's been this effort to say that, okay, these exact dates are at issue, and these exact dates are getting signaled here.
Yeah, so can I go out for a second?
Yes.
Everything okay?
The old audio issues there.
I'm getting signaled by the consultant. I thought there was signal in his ear.
I don't know about you, David. When it comes to Fonnie Willis, Nathan Wade, I think that former couple, they need new media consultants to teach them about optics.
They also need some new attorneys. Remember, there's still some legal battles going on underway, which could involve her involve him and his relationship with her. There's still an effort to get her disqualified. So there's more going on, and the last thing they need is a blowhard who wasn't qualified to do the job, screwing up the dates, which then goes into the appeal. These two are like the worst power couple, we'll call it that, or the low power couple when it comes legally. They're only interested in going after Trump. They can't affect that case. That's what this is about.
So there's also something interesting going on with Jay-Z. His organization, Rock Nation, appears to be supporting school choice, supporting these vouchers for young people who live in underprivileged communities. Typically a Republican issue, and he's saying that this is the right way to go.
He got a lot of pushback for doing that, but think about it. In Philadelphia, where 65% of black parents, as reported, have moved since COVID, moved their kids into charter schools. The failing schools in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has charter schools. It has choice, something the governor fought against. I think it's a good move for him. Look, I can't know all his reasons, but it's not a bad business investment in the future of people in human capital, so good for him.
20 seconds before we need to go off to Fox and Friends. Why does the far left hate the fact that parents, especially black parents, want choice when it comes to where and how their kids are educated?
Because it's a loss of control. You can't have people learning, growing, and running their lives. If you're the big government group, you take them on. You won't own them.
Yeah, AFT Pennsylvania Teachers Union president pushed back on social media saying this ain't it to Jay-Z's announcement, but did not say why.
Well, he took a picture with a major choice supporter. That's the problem with Jeffrey Yass.
David, thank you so much for joining us on this busy news day. President Biden in Italy for the G7 summit. There will be continuing coverage of that on Fox and Friends, which starts right now.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Todd and Carly. We just had an interesting conversation on chiropractors.
Yes, we did. I'm
pro chiropractor.
So, get right and stretch a lot. Okay?
Hey, listen, over the stretch of the next 3 hours, you're going to be watching Fox and Friends for this June 13, 2024. So let's start right now. President Biden is in Italy, meeting with G7 leaders in that country with the world in chaos and terror threats coming across our southern border as well. Now even Joe Biden's own administration admits the migrant screening, well, it hasn't really happened right. And today on Capitol Hill, lawmakers are taking on campus anti-Semitism as pro-Palestinian protesters barricaded themselves in a Cal State Los Angeles building overnight with school staff trapped inside.
And life-threatening flooding across southern Florida. What do you need to know to stay safe if you live there?
Lots of dress on, right?
Actually, okay, let's start with Fox News alert. President Biden, as you can see right there, has arrived for the first day of the G7 summit in Italy. Right now, he's in a closed-door working session with world leaders after taking a family photo that you just witnessed.
And this afternoon, Biden will hold a rare press conference with Ukrainian President Zelensky and answer questions for the first time since his son Hunter's conviction.
It's only 2 questions, though, right?
Right, from each side.
From each. Lucas Almerson is here with what we can expect. Lucas.
Well, good morning, guys. President Biden is back in Europe, this time in a meeting with leaders from the world's 7 largest economies along the Adriatic coast in southeast Italy. President Biden also meeting with Ukraine's president will hold, as we just mentioned, a rare press conference for the first time since Biden approved a request from Ukraine to strike targets in Russia using American weapons. Now, according to a recent poll, nearly half of Ukrainians view the war as a stalemate. And the Wall Street Journal editorial board recently criticizing President Biden over what it called his timidity and micromanagement of the war, accusing the White House of running the war based on academic theories of managing escalation instead of a plan for defeating Russia's invasion. When President Biden meets with world leaders today in Italy, it's not likely there will be a call to actually defeat Russia. Here's what else is on the agenda. Ceasefire talks in Gaza, Russia's war in Ukraine, of course, trade imbalances with China, AI threats, and developmental issues in Africa. Now, to help fund the war, the G7 leaders plan to open today's session with an agreement to loan Ukraine $50 billion using frozen Russian assets as collateral. President Zelensky and Biden also are expected to sign a separate bilateral security agreement to support Ukraine financially for 10 years, with no plan to use U.S. forces. Now, Pope Francis will become the first pope to address a G7 summit. He didn't have to go far, of course, in Italy. And President Biden brought his family to Italy with him as well. It's pretty crowded on Air Force One. All of Hunter Biden's adult children, after their father became the first child, the sitting American president to be convicted of a felony. Hunter, of course, not allowed to leave the country while he waits sentence against him.
Well, Hunter probably would have been on the plane yesterday if he wasn't convicted, right?
Correct. He's not allowed to leave the country as he awaits sentencing since he's now convicted felon.
Lucas, I find it fascinating, the subplot, and that is that 6 of the 7 on the G7 are in political peril. I mean, the only one who's secure is the Prime Minister of Italy.
That's right. He did the math this morning. And of course, after right-wing political groups have actually done pretty well in those European Union elections, and so a lot of pressure on this G7, and certainly something to watch there.
Okay. Lucas, thank you very much, Lucas. You know, it's interesting. According to Politico, they had a piece that came out and said Joe said he confided in somebody, and he said,
holy fuck, not even time to breathe.
Gotten a plea deal if
I need to save a party just in case.
For president and
so no, I can't take that.
Here's the thing. What it all comes down to is Hunter Biden's deal a year ago. He was going to get a probation-only deal. But his attorneys insisted on
for fuck's sakes, what is this
so
shit?
that he could never be prosecuted for a bunch of stuff in the future because they were thinking, okay, the Republicans are going to come after me with the FARA thing, foreign agent registration thing. They didn't, and now this is where he is. And for the president not to reveal whether or not he's going to pardon Hunter, I mean, come on. If Joe Biden knows he's going to.
There's no political downside to it.
No.
I mean, and to Steve's point, it wasn't just a typical immunity. I mean,
nobody ever seen it.
The feds give immunity sometimes.
Yeah.
But in perpetuity, like you can never be charged ever again, and that's what triggered the federal justice to say, hey, is there any precedent for this?
Great. Meanwhile,
then there's someone else who some people are asking now if he's going to drop out because of Hunter Biden's conviction. Would he drop out now, and then he could say, we need to be there for Hunter, we need to be there as a family, and then pave the path for Michelle Obama?
She says she's done.
She did say she's done.
Well, yeah, that would be nuts. Because she's gone out over and over again, says she's done, and then this woman named Kamala Harris, who's that's the problem. That's the stop sign. Really going to take a African American, a black woman, the first one, the history breaking. You keep saying she broke the glass ceiling, and then say, "Oh, now that you have an opportunity to be president, step aside." Even though that's why you got to give her something better than that.
They would have cared and would still do it if Michelle Obama said she would. She said she's not interested in it. She said it in her book. She also said it to NBC.
Yeah.
But they don't care. They want to win.
Yeah. Well, to your point is, this would be the perfect time for Joe Biden to say, look, my family is in turmoil. I feel terrible about, the political people came after Hunter and now he's a convicted felon. And so I'm going to step aside. I'm not going to run for re-election. And then that would open it up and go ahead and have all that stuff. The problem is, he could, if he were to pardon Hunter now, there's another trial coming up.
That's right. There's a tax case.
It's after the convention.
And that one's more damning.
Because they're going to forensically reconstruct all the deals to try to find out how much taxes he actually owes. And the bad news is the sugar daddy's out of sugar.
Yeah.
So out of money.
Hunter's upset.
Right. Addie's just the daddy. Right. He's just the daddy. Now, and by the way, the daughter, whose daddy was financing Hunter Biden,
she's upset.
She blistered Hunter Biden, said you're taking advantage of my dad. So think about that for a second. But Steve, everything you're saying, his turmoil has all been out there. He's 53 years old. This guy's problem is hopefully in his rearview mirror. So if he was going to not run, that would have been 4 years ago. That's when his son might have been still in the throes of addiction or trying to get out of it. So now I think it's all in the rearview mirror. It's all out there.
Much cleaner now.
Right. Unless the debate is he falls on his face in the debate, they just glide through a very controversial Chicago DNC, and they're going to try their hand at this. In this political item that talks about how Joe Biden says, it's because I'm running for re-election, that's why they came after him. It also says that apparently the campaign team thinks that Trump may make an issue of Hunter Biden's conviction at the debate. They're going to say, he's going to turn around and say, look, Joe, you're an inadequate father. Yeah. But at the same time, we've heard they're trying to hang that title convicted felon around Donald Trump's neck. And so if Joe Biden at the campaign or at the debate says, and then all Trump's got to do is she's like your son. Exactly. Right. And they'll be able to finish their sentences in this.
Need more armor.
Lexi used a few reams of paper to print all these out for us.
Lauren's got a color one.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, she likes me more.
That cost us $300.
U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Office of Inspector General, this is the latest report. And in this report, there's some shocking admissions about how they're not vetting the people that are coming across our border illegally adequately.
That's right. Go ahead, bro.
Well, the only thing I would add is the people that are getting vetted, they're not, a lot of these nations have these people that are not on the FBI watch list. We have no idea to find out what they're doing in their small terror camps in their country. And they come over here, their names light up, they might get their ID, but we know nothing about them. But we used to have a looking glass into them by being in Afghanistan. We used to have people in Syria too, but Iraq did not leave the base. So our whole antenna has been up in the region, so we have a better idea what's happening. So they did the impossible. They opened up the southern border. At the same time, they shut down our eyes in the Middle East and in Central Asia. And now we are really flying.
Brian's point, we already don't have the information and the data as strong as it should be from overseas to know what we're dealing with. But if you go deeper into the report says that when they initially get the folks that cross the border, they're not even screening. They do a soft screening, and that's really not much. And then in 180 days, what they have to do once the application for asylum is put in, that's when they do the background and all that stuff. By that time, some of these people are already all without, which is accurate.
That's how they have. Right, and that's why we're talking about it, because yesterday the lead story was that these 8 guys from Tajikistan, it turns out, had terror ties to ISIS-K, and we didn't know about it until afterwards. But the scariest part to me in that report is the fact that there is information about these people. The federal government has it, but the Border Patrol is not giving access to it when they do the initial screening. And the government does not do complete checks on asylum seekers already in the country to the tune of 400,000 people. All the 400,000 we have not vetted from 2017 to 2023.
That's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Well, it's
Why would our CBP have access when they get into the computer and they click on, Lawrence's name, my name, or your name, and see a whole list of what we've been accused of?
After 9/11, the whole idea was for intelligence agencies to share information, but they're not doing it.
Well, the report says that 54% of the completed affirmative asylum cases were not adjudicated within a 180-day period. So we're saying 54% of the people that are coming across the border, because if you're looking at the people that are coming across the border right now, all of them are saying asylum, because that triggers them to go through to be able to get across the border.
Yeah.
Well, they also found in this report they're not conducting complete checks on asylum seekers already in the country to ensure they have no suspicious background information on their records.
And most of them are coming now through San Diego. So Robert Holden, a clear-thinking Democrat who has been out there before taking on this crazy city council, now is talking about terror. It's his real concern, and he remembers 9/11. Listen.
Teaches us a lesson. We didn't learn a lesson from 9/11 in New York City. We'll never learn a lesson. It's frightening, and we're headed for another 9/11. I predicted that. I think we should have a secure border. We should know who's coming into our country. We don't, and millions of migrants and illegal aliens have gotten through. So it's a situation that we're just, really rolling the dice here.
Rolling the dice. That's terrifying. Hillary Vaughn was on Capitol Hill yesterday and approached lawmakers who were trying to leave in their cars, and she asked them about this terror threat, and shouldn't the administration be doing more? Let's go to Capitol Hill.
Do you think that President Biden's border policies are putting Americans
You're
at risk
kidding me.
for another 9/11?
We should
No, you're not kidding me.
Arrest and detain people that commit terrorist acts, and so I think that obviously it's really important for us to address the issues here that it is that you and others have raised. At the same time, we should be making sure that we have both a secure and humane border policy.
You don't think President Biden has any responsibility for the fact that terrorists are being allowed into this country?
So the fact that they were identified and detained and we know where they are is them doing their job.
Phil, so we know these people were identified after the fact, and they're not including the people that haven't been identified. That's the real issue. You can't have terrorists just running throughout the country and not expect some sort of attack to happen in the meantime. The real thing is we got really lucky here. Really lucky. The fact that they were in 3 different major cities and there was conversation. They got a tap that essentially said there was some type of bomb. We don't know the full report on it, but they were talking about bombs. And 3 different major cities. They could have been planning an attack.
Well, in Queens last night, at 1:30 in the morning, they picked up a guy with full tons of ammunition, police body armor, police uniform, a mask, weighted whips. They don't know what this person was up to. Bill Maluzhin reports that multiple illegal immigrants wanted for murder or arrested in a 2-week span over in Houston. He lists them, 2 of which from Honduras, 3 from Mexico.
Fucking hell, man. There's a snake right there, for fuck's sakes.
The head of the FBI to say,
The fuck?
We've never seen so many alarms going off at the same time. To me, we used to be able to put ideology aside for this. It's amazing that these people, their knee-jerk reaction is no big deal because the Democrats in the White House.
Well, why is it a political issue? Why don't Republicans and Democrats read this report and get on the same page? This is about national security. This is about protecting our country. This has nothing to do with politics. Whenever Yvonne talks to those Democrats, they're all saying, "Oh, well, they are being fed." That's not.
She's the only one doing that, by the way, going in front of their faces and asking them questions. I wish more of the reporters would just put the microphone in their face and make them run on what they say. I mean, you can say humane. I don't know if there's anything humane about letting terrorists in the country.
She is one of my wonderful. That's right. But right to your point about Christopher Wray at the FBI, when you sit in front of Congress and you say, the warning light is going off at the FBI, really what he's saying is, do something, and they're not.
Well, and I would look for him to make it clear that it bothers him that the Border Patrol is not communicating with ICE, who's been diminished and depleted from this administration because they looked at ICE as racist, and now they're not communicating with the Terror Task Force. And in New York City, we had the best counter task force in the world, and then we dialed it back under the previous administration, and they have not ramped it up because of budget concerns, because of illegal immigrant money, billions going to the illegals that we have to house.
All right, more
on this truck.
Meantime, former President Trump will be back in Capitol Hill this morning for the first time since leaving office in 2021. He's holding strategy sessions on the election and his 2025 agenda.
Trump will meet with House Republicans before huddling up with Senate Republicans.
This is going to be interesting. A senior Trump campaign official says this. These congressional meetings will be looking ahead at the policies that will save the nation. Policies that will actually secure our border and make our community safe again.
The former president will also address about 90 top CEOs at the Business Roundtable later today, and he is expected to slam Joe Biden's anti-business regulations.
Well, this is a couple of things. Number one, it's going to be very interesting when he goes to the Senate side and who talks to him. Mitt Romney's not going.
Mitch,
and Senator Murkowski is not going. But I can't wait. Mitch McConnell's been walking it back effectively. Why? Because he's basically somebody who thinks Republicans first. And he says, okay, this is going to be my nominee. I can deal with it. I think I would love to see if they're going to talk to each other, because Mitch McConnell's no longer in leadership.
And to your point,
soon.
Exactly right. But to your point, I think the former president knows this, and the staff knows this. He's in a much different position right now than he was a year ago. The indictments and the prosecution of him has rallied Republicans. Where he stands in the national polls right now, where he stands on the issues right now, there couldn't be a better time for him to go meet with the Republicans to set the agenda. And remember, we're a month away from the convention, or 2 months away from about a month and a half away from the convention. What a better time.
Thank God we got rid of the snake.
Well, I was just going to say, and this is something he did not do in 2016. Essentially he was elected, and then it's like, okay, now
one senator elect him, Senator Sessions.
Right. Now what are we going to do? And so it is smart on behalf of the campaign that they would do that. Apparently behind the scenes, he's already working with Speaker Mike Johnson.
Well, also, what does it take to get the majority in the Senate? Right. And he's going to say, Larry Hogan, they should leave Larry Hogan alone?
Yeah, absolutely. Larry Hogan would be a great senator for the state of Maryland.
What do you need that open seat in Michigan? What's it going to be who's going to take to beat John Tester? And you have a sharing of ideas.
Well, we only have about 5 more months until the election, and we know that Joe Biden is trying to appeal to the black voters, so he's going to black radio stations and black events and black colleges.
And condemning America.
Exactly. He's trying to appeal to the older crowd with pickleball and bingo, and now we're getting reports, not only is he trying to pay for younger people's college, he's also trying to lure them with birth control and beer.
Right. One goes with the other.
It's in the
And you missed.
First the beer, then the
One
birth
leads
control.
to the next.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. You reverse the order.
And apparently this is not a campaign, this is a bunch of donors getting together. The Washington Post reports this morning a group of Democratic donors thinks it might have found a cure for what ails you, like a dance party, a comedy show, or a place to chill out. Sometimes there will be beer, there will be manicures. How about a boot shine, a red check sweepstakes, a handout of contraceptive pills, or cooling towers? And apparently they're targeting a couple of battleground states, Arizona and Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, the whole idea is to get young people who don't vote interested. And they're trying to get 100,000 young people under 30, in Pennsylvania to show up to some of this stuff.
I will give them credit, though, they're not even hiding that they're trying to buy it.
I know. This is the founder of LinkedIn who's funding this. It's just a weird combination. And manicures and beer and boot shines and rent check sweepstakes, contraceptive pills, cooling towels.
But just imagine if it worked. What if you get a bunch of people who aren't engaged in politics and it's like, they gave me free pizza and beer. I'm going to vote for that person.
Here's the real problem, and I know we joke about this because it's just like ridiculous. Well, the president is asking these young people, and as well as the other demographics, take this temporary gift right now.
Wow. Pretty fucking stupid.
Right, the inflation when you
Let's
go to the
see.
grocery store. And I think they feel like, okay, just one last effort right here, so we can appear like we're doing something in the temporary that is going to impact all the rest of the life.
But you can drink
But you
beer.
can get this
Here's your
moment.
beer, your
Right.
manicure.
But if you want to know what I think, I always say to myself, I want to find out what the influencers think.
Good.
So I go on the internet, and that's how I get my opinions.
On the World Wide Web. That's what you got.
www.interweb. And then I just go on. And it's so easy. Guys, you can learn so much from me. And I can learn so much from two guys who made their name on the internet, Jake Paul, one of which is a mod-turned-boxer. He's going to be fighting Tyson. So he's also talking about, we think in November is the new date.
15.
Yeah, he was on, everything's boxing with you.
Right.
It's unbelievable. She jogged before today's show. So Jake Paul was on with Jesse yesterday. He talked about what young people want.
I think that's what's important to young voters is the president's showing up, speaking their mind, saying how they're going to help. And my brother's invited Biden onto his podcast, the last I've heard. And, let's see what happens. I've invited Biden to my fight. I want both Donald Trump Jr. and Biden to come to my fight. But who knows which president is actually going to show up, talk to the people, get into the weeds, and meet the young voters where they're at and give them that representation and give them that voice, and somebody's going to fight for us.
And he said he might wind up voting for Donald Trump. He said to both candidates, we are the smartest generation, most access to information. You can't fool us. We just want the truth, and we want authenticity.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Love or hate TikTok? At least you know.
Hey,
I know Brian hates TikTok. I am partially with him. When you compare the two, TikTok, Biden versus Trump, you get a more authentic who the person is, right? And he's boxing, he's in the crowd, and you see the braggadocious, the big billionaire, and then you have all these other people that are essentially running the Biden. Part of TikTok is being real, or at least pretending to be real.
I just like that they were in each other's faces, and then they start cracking up. You don't see that side.
You don't see him laughing.
TikTok is all about the editing. And they've got the smartest minds in Hollywood trying to put together TikTok videos to make Joe Biden look like he's with it.
It looks like it. And then the Chinese get all that information and try to destroy us.
Oh, they're good with the policy.
Right. We should not be on TikTok as a country.
Tell the Trump administration
and the Biden
campaign
and
again,
I'm going to have to take the lead on this.
That's exactly it.
You keep talking about this. You're eating up Carly's time.
Oh, I don't care.
An honest response.
Here's the list. It's boxing, beer, birth control, and moonshine.
A lot of bees.
Just imagine Brian Kilmeade being like, yes, give me a manager. And you're like, get your hand
And a cooling towel.
All right, Brian, can I speak to the headlines now? Thank you so much. We do have a Fox News alert to get to. A mob of anti-Israel protesters trashed the campus at Cal State Los Angeles overnight after taking over part of the Student Services building. A university spokesperson says up to 100 protesters took over the first floor, causing staffers and the college president to shelter in place for hours on the upper floors. They are now safe, but this ugly scene comes nearly 6 weeks after activists set up an encampment on school grounds. Listen to this. A media consultant for ousted Trump special prosecutor Nathan Wade interrupted an interview after Wade is pressed about the romantic relationship with full.
Missed twice. Wow. Real handy. Real handy.
These exact dates.
There's one.
I'm going to sit with you.
Yeah, so can I go on mic for a second? Yes. Okay.
Everything okay?
Wow.
Room that opened a sidebar with the media consultant, a sidebar conversation. Wade said he could not answer the timeline question since it's a, quote, pending issue before the Georgia Court of Appeals. And a lot of Jeopardy viewers are left puzzled over what they feel was an easy final question on Tuesday's episode.
For final today, our contestants are dealing with U.S. geography. Here's the clue. Of the 10 U.S. states with two-word names, this one stretches the farthest south. Let's take the direct down, Sarah. What is New Mexico? And that is correct.
Jeopardy fans who thought that was a layup took to social media to air their complaints. A lot of people think the final question should be a lot tougher and not one that would be asked on the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, guys? Social media up in arms over Jeopardy's final question.
That's right. All right, Carly, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I would love to have a consultant just break in on my behalf sometimes on the show and just say, Brian, we can't have your stops. No, you would not. All right, meanwhile, 25 minutes after the hour. Thank you, brother. A fleet of Russian warships, including a nuclear-powered submarine, now sitting off the coast of Florida.
Ben Hall is here next to tell us how concerned we all should be.
Mr. Ron.
Choose Advil liquid gels for faster, stronger, and longer-lasting relief than Tylenol rapid release gels. Because Advil targets pain at the source of inflammation. So for faster pain relief, Advil, the pain away.
We need a bond on this project. I asked Markham. You know what? Here's an idea. Let's ask Markham. That's good. Now, lunch.
People with all the answers, get all the answers. Ask Markham, accountants and advisors.
Did you know 80% of women are struggling with hair damage? Just like I was. Sure. Could be damaged hair that can't retain moisture. New Pantene Miracle Rescue Deep Conditioner with first of its kind melting Pro V pearls. Locks in moisture to repair 6 months of damage in one wash without weight out. Guaranteed or you've money back. For resilient, healthy looking hair. If you know it's Pantene.
Babe, I'm buying this umbrella.
New blender.
How about side chairs?
Cutting board?
Of broad ones.
Love it. Budget?
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Start saving. Shop now. BedBathAndBeyond.com.
Once retired, Marcus decided...
How many turns do you have?
...work for another man or woman. I'm ending my corporate bond plan, and I'll get a new plan with Consumer Sound for up to half the cost.
Let's go, birds.
When freedom calls, we're here to answer.
In the furniture business, things move fast. ZipRecruiter helped us hire qualified candidates who can keep up. We needed a project manager yesterday. We posted a job on ZipRecruiter and had our guy on site 5 days. He was qualified.
And you missed.
ZipRecruiter finds the best candidates for all our jobs. They helped us build our dream team. Did it fast.
And you missed.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try for free at ZipRecruiter.com/box.
There are many ways to deliver a shipment. At Old Dominion Freight Line, we deliver them this way. This way uses technology and goes the extra mile to do things the right way. Delivering promises on time, every time way.
If you're shopping for a home, Realtor.com's Real Choice Financing lets you choose from up to 3 independent lenders, unlike some apps that push you to use their mortgage company. Really? Really. Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust.
This Father's Day, Dad deserves better, and nothing's better than cooking on a Blackstone. And join the more than 11 million Blackstone users. Your family will love every breakfast, lunch, and dinner you create with an enormous variety for your whole family. Cook anything, anytime, anywhere better on a Blackstone. Go to your nearest retailer or BlackstoneProducts.com to start your adventure today and make everything better on a Blackstone.
Tonight, Trump's been gagged in a cage all spring, but now he is on the loose.
As the former president works to unify his party in D.C.
How many turns do you fucking have, man?
These days at the local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks.
Fucking run. Holy fuck already, just run.
Others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our members in this program...
Misclick, fuckhead.
...on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at Legion.ca.
This is a very special place, a very special origin story. I'd like to welcome here, Grace Bruce.
Well, he goes after my guy with all the zombies sitting there and kills him. That's fucking bullshit. Let's try that again. See if you do that again.
It's 6:30 down in Florida, and we've got a Fox weather alert. Governor Ron DeSantis in that state has declared a state of emergency for South Florida as a tropical depression disturbance soaks the region and triggers flash flooding everywhere. Look at that. Yesterday.
The heavy downpours are turning major roadways into canals, leaving drivers stranded and their cars submerged.
Gosh, look at this wild footage. 2 women pushing their car through the floodwaters in Miami on a highway.
All right, and this storm is not done yet. Let's go to senior meteorologist. I guess it's got to be a neutral, or the best quads in America. Senior meteorologist Janice Dean has the Fox weather forecast.
Yes, serious situation across South Florida. We had a lot of rainfall come in a short period of time. Take a look at the rain totals over the past 2 days. So over 2 feet of rain in and around the Miami area. Close to over 2 feet, and then close to 2 feet in a lot of these regions. And we've got more rain in the forecast, unfortunately. And this is not even a named storm. It's not a depression. It's just tropical moisture streaming into this area, and the soil is full, so it's now runoff, and you can see the flood alerts through the Florida area, Sarasota down to Fort Myers and Naples, flash flood warnings. We had a flash flood emergency for the Miami area, and you can see all of the rain streaming in over the next couple of days through the weekend. So this is something we're going to watch for. Also watching the tropics along the Gulf Coast. We could see development next week, and the heat is going to be a huge story for not only the West, but the central U.S. and the East Coast heading into next week. FoxWeather.com for all of your latest details, and of course we will keep you up to date. But this Florida situation, it does not take a named storm to cause all of that destruction, and this is just deep tropical moisture moving into the same areas.
And that's why it's a state of emergency. All right, JD, thank you.
You got it.
All right, meanwhile, a fleet of 4 Russian warships are now just off the coast of Florida in the Caribbean. All right, that includes a nuclear-capable submarine in the Havana airport, harbor, I should say.
So it comes as the G7 summit is now underway in Italy, where President Biden is making support for Ukraine a top priority.
And here to react is Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall.
Well, there's no avoiding it, so fuck you.
See you this morning, guys.
What exactly does this mean for America?
Well, I think first and foremost, this is a clear signal from Vladimir Putin. What is happening at the moment in Ukraine, as well as what we're seeing at the G7 at the moment, is that Russia is on the back foot at the moment. After the US gave permission for US weapons to be used inside Russia against Russian facilities that were targeting Kharkiv, after a new Patriot missile has gone over there, after there's a stalemate on the ground inside Ukraine, and after a lot of a 10-year guarantee that the G7 will support Ukraine, this is Vladimir Putin very clearly, as he said last week, showing that he still has cards up his sleeve, that he still has ways of threatening the West. And so we've seen this flotilla move over the last week towards Cuba. There are 4 ships. As you said, there's 1 nuclear submarine amongst them, though both the Cubans as well as the White House have said there are no nuclear missiles on board. That being said,
lost 2 guys in this fucking mission. For fuck's sakes.
That is the one that used cruise missiles.
Get me the fuck out of here already.
Some questions about whether or not it is armed to its maximum. But this is Vladimir Putin sending a clear message that he may be on the back foot in Ukraine at the moment, that it is a stalemate there, but he still has an ability to get weapons towards the US. There's no sign, of course, that he is planning to do anything at the moment, any sign of an attack. These are in the lead up to a maritime operations that he's doing in the Caribbean over the next week, both with the Cubans and perhaps also with the Venezuelans. So just a sign from him that there are threats, perhaps, that he can reach out.
Ben, the other thing to point out is Ukraine, without a navy, has wiped out half his navy in the Black Sea, and that's
2 soldiers dead.
And force it out of the ports in Crimea, correct?
Well, absolutely. In fact, we've seen some of his aircraft carriers not being able to make their final destination.
Fucking cocksuckers.
The few ships that have remained floating are not in the best strength at all. And of this flotilla that's coming over, 2 of them are supply ships.
Fucking pricks.
They're never sure about whether their navy will be able to reach its final destination. So, look, we do look at the ships that are being sent, and we don't feel that they are, the most
viable ships, nevertheless they do and can carry serious weapons.
So, Ben, we've been following the anti-Semitism all across the country on these college campuses in the middle of all these major cities. You have this new special that addresses that, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, we've all been watching the protests that have been happening around the US, just Cal State in the last couple of days. We've seen the protests there. But what we've started to see is that these are not just protests sort of in support of or against the death toll inside Gaza. These are really shifting towards anti-Semitism. They are really shifting into a sense of anti-Jews. And so we put this special together that is looking at all the cases that we've seen, whether it's in social media, whether it's in these protests, whether it's on college campuses as well. You'll remember the Harvard professor saying that calling for genocide against the Jews was not perhaps anti-Semitic. And so we put these all together. We've looked at a documentary. It's out on Fox Nation. Tune in. Well, as a final point, anti-Semitism is anti-Americanism. And alongside flags, we so often see American flags as well. About the direction that it's going.
An excellent point. Benjamin Hall, reporting live for us. Thank you, Commander.
That's good.
Meanwhile, Fox News alert, the DHS Inspector General's office warning that inadequate migrant vetting procedures pose a significant threat to national security.
Retired acting
Riley Green on Fox and Friends. Performance Friday.
Proud of what you say about where you're from. Your heroes are daddies and mamas.
The All-American Summer Concert Series is presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
The volcano could destroy Hawaii, but the volcano is not the problem. It's the secret hidden underneath it that could end everything. Michael Crichton, James Patterson, Eruption, on sale now.
We're talking about their lives on the line for this country. The people who have lost and paid the greatest price for our freedom. For guys like me to be able to go sing songs about whatever I want to sing about every single night. And we're talking about an organization that helps support families and support the people that are running into the danger that the rest of us are running away from. And that's the kind of people I want to be beside. Those are the real heroes, man. I'm just a big fat guy with a guitar. Hey, y'all, this is Jelly Roll, and I am asking you to give $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to honoring the dignity of the American service member and is committed to helping end homelessness amongst the veteran community and ensure no veteran is left behind. Providing a safe and dignified home is an imperative part of helping veterans who are homeless reclaim their lives. Donate $11 a month by calling 1-844-BRAVES or visit T2T.org.
I was so excited to buy my first home, but I needed a lot of work done on it. I went on to Angie. JD was the first person.
Fuck, I need that last party.
Lori, he's done plumbing work. He's refinished this beautiful table here.
Find top-rated certified pros in your area at
Fuck.
Angie.com.
Innovation in healthcare means nothing if no one can afford it. At Evernorth, we're helping to unlock barriers. Using our 35-plus years of pharmacy benefits management experience to save businesses billions while boosting medication adherence. Helping plan sponsors and their members be at their best. That's Wonder, made possible. Evernorth Health Services. This is a premium hand-selected bacon-wrapped filet mignon that's aged for tenderness and trimmed to perfection. This is a necktie. What do you think Dad wants for Father's Day? Visit omahasteaks.com/TV to order the Dads Want Steak package today for just $99.99 and will include 8 additional burgers free. So get into this, not this. This. Go to omahasteaks.com/TV today because Dad deserves it. Just a little Father's Day wisdom from Omaha Steaks.
Well, I needed them.
It's not going to happen. You have to make it. And if you want a successful business, all it takes is an idea. And now becomes the future where you can make dream into a reality. The all-new GoDaddy Arrow. Put your business online in minutes with the power of AI. Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal. Live smarter, stronger,
healthier with the Aura Ring.
Sure, I'm a paid actor, and this isn't a real company. But there's no way to fake how Upwork can help your business. Search talent all over the world with over 10,000 skills you may not have in-house. More than 30% of the Fortune 500 use Upwork, because this is how we work now.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. With my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay. And I was done settling. If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue for some, and stop joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occur. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling? Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq and take back what's yours. Happy can help you save.
I can't even find the fucking skull, Jack.
Home to the Negro Leagues. Now, the Giants take on the Cardinals in a celebration over a century in the making.
Fox News alert now, the DHS Inspector General's office issuing a stark warning on inadequate migrant vetting policies just days before 8 suspected terrorists were arrested after crossing our border. Here with more is Fox News contributor, Action Vice Director Tom Holman. Tom, I wonder what you thought about the fact that they got through, then we got them. The fact is there were days in between that, and they had fanned out across the country.
Look, I think Lawrence Jones was right early when he said we're lucky. Look, we got the best intelligence apparatus in the world, the United States. But they're not always perfect. They get it wrong. They got it wrong in Iraq. They got it wrong in 9/11. We got lucky this time. But look, people need to know this administration. I think this not only is the southwest border the biggest national security vulnerability I've seen in my lifetime, but this administration itself is a national security vulnerability because the decisions they're making on the southern border and the law enforcement.
With their decisions is a lack of communication. ICE seems to be the stepchild that nobody wants to deal with, but yet we need them more than ever. They've been depleted, they've been defamed, and they've been demanded. And now we're finding out that Border Patrol is not communicating with law enforcement in our country. How long has that been the case?
Under this administration. Look, it's the IG didn't need to spend millions of dollars doing this investigation to come to this conclusion. They could simply call me. I've been speaking about this issue on this network, Fox Network, for 3 years. They can ask any Border Patrol agent or ICE agent about the vetting procedure. And this administration is unfriendly to ICE. They're unfriendly to the Border Patrol. We know that. And under this administration, sanctuary cities have exploded. The biggest cities in the United States, the police departments won't cooperate with ICE. It isn't coincidence. These 8 people were arrested in sanctuary cities: Philadelphia, New York, and LA. Sanctuaries are sanctuaries for criminals or sanctuaries for terrorists.
So NewsNation interviewed the acting ICE director, and here's what he said about this information. Now that they picked up these 8, 3 of which, many of which are in New York. Let's listen.
Sometimes there's just no information on individuals. I mean, it's quite common where there's just nothing. You don't have anything. There's no criminal convictions. There's no threat information or whatever on these individuals. Or maybe these individuals are from an area that are particularly of concern, but that pops up later when you get the information later on. And as soon as we become aware of any information, like in this case, we became aware, we're working collaboratively with FBI, we went out and got them.
No information on some of these guys? You mean countries that just don't cooperate?
Absolutely. Do you think China, Russia, Turkey, Syria, do you think North Korea, do you think any of these countries where thousands of their nationals have entered the United States have been released? Do you think these countries are sharing national security information about the people that entered in the United States in our country? Look, PJ's a good guy, but he's soft-shielding it. Look, how do you prevent this? Catch and release. And catch and release. The law clearly says if you enter the country illegally without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not maybe, not think about it, shall be detained. Because when you detain them, Then we have time to do deep dive interviews. Look, the Border Patrol is trained. They look through the pocket trash, look for phone numbers and addresses, talk to these people, doing a deep dive investigative interview. But they're not allowed to do that anymore. The main focus of Secretary Mayorkas is process quickly, release quickly, so we don't want overcrowding. If we have overcrowding, then we got bad optics. Let the Border do their job. Any catch release, let them do their job.
One word answer. If Trump wins and you get back in there, is that going to change?
Day one.
Thanks so much. It was 2 words, but I get the point. Tom Holman, thank you. Straight ahead. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas will not be allowed to compete in the Olympics. Riley Gaines competed against Thomas before. She's here to tell us what this means for women next.
Joint pain was killing my creativity. Blue Emu gave me my hobbies back. It's the arthritis pain relief our joints rely on.
Shop our expanded family of products at major online retailers. When you show dogs at Westminster Dog Show as long as we have,
Joint health comes first.
and it starts with Cosequin.
For athletes in the ring,
And at home, trust Cosequin.
Cosequin, the official joint health supplement of the Westminster Dog Show.
From real quality that starts in our factory to real performance in your backyard, Steel tools are as tough and dependable as the people who use them. This Father's Day, give them the gift that's built for Dad. Right now, save $50 on select AK System battery tool sets. Real Steel.
What would you like to pay for your hotel room today? $185, $169, or $155? Same room, same service, just different prices. It's really up to you. Well, nobody asks you this at reception, but that's exactly what Trivago does. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of phone sites. So, save yourself valuable time and money. Use Trivago. Compare hotel prices and save $30 a night. Hotel? Trivago. CIDP disrupts.
CIDP derails.
Let's be honest.
CIDP sucks. But living with CIDP
doesn't have to.
When you sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com, you'll find inspiration and real patient stories, helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP can be tough,
but finding hope
just got a little easier.
Sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com.
Be heard, be hopeful, be you.
1 second she can't walk, then she can. 1 second you're single, and then you don't want to be. 1 second it's a pipe dream, and the next it's a dream come true. 1 second you feel safe, and then well, you still do.
In 2 seconds, Eric will realize I'm in inner space.
Gotta sell the house.
Oh, open houses. Or skip the hassles and sell directly to Open Door. When life's doors open, we'll handle the house.
This is the one who helps everyone stay safe. An unsung hero in a building full of everyday heroes. It's just how he likes it. The industrial grade products you need. Call, click, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. Evan Grishkovich will remain jailed on espionage charges.
A Russian court has rejected the latest appeal. Our prayers are with Evan and his family.
We all know that
last 2 years that I've been on my own, it's been really challenging in order to make ends meet. You know, the great agency that I deal with for things like food, keeping the cost of food down, help with groceries and other necessities that you could that it just always done with a smile Thanks to United Way, seniors like myself live in great simplicity.
My life changed forever. During the pandemic, all of our lives changed, and many of us turned to alcohol and drugs to cope. As life returns to normal, the increase in substance use for COVID has lingered, and some police services report an increase in impaired driving that caused heart
They're
rate
so
and devastation.
stupid, man. They think smoking a joint's gonna get you in an accident. Look at them.
To never drive impaired. And
2020.
to do the same. Together, we can save lives.
Mothers against drunk driving. And now they're like, mothers against weed.
Now, a moment of silence and a tribute. It was a video right
Fucking
before Game 3 of the
losers,
NBA
man.
Finals in
Pick
honor of
something,
the
will
late,
ya?
great Jerry West.
An NBA cornerstone for over 6 decades, West was an all-star every year he played and helped the Lakers to the NBA Finals 9 times. Off the court, West's brilliance continued, serving as the architect of 8 championship teams.
West, who died yesterday at the age of 86, was nicknamed the Logo because it was his silhouette that was featured on the NBA seal. As for the game, the Celtics putting the Mavericks away. Game 3 goes to them, 106-99. They blew a 21-point lead, but they were able to hold on for the victory. Football now, kinda. What about a night in Foxborough? What a night it was. Football legend Tom Brady is inducted into the New England Sports Hall of Fame, the Patriots Hall of Fame, at that stadium.
To my teammates, we fought together, we bled together, we cried together, we celebrated and won together. And I would go to battle with any one of you. I know what you're all about.
He's in the booth for Fox. The franchise 12, and the team announced a 12-foot stack quarterbacks on. Let's start something out. LWOTC making will be his last stop in his career. The 36-year-old saying this into Miami. I love playing football. I enjoy everything even more because I am aware that there is less and less left. But he said it in Spanish.
Say this.
Messi is under contract through 2025 MLS season.
See you guys next time. All right, peace.
Now we're amazing.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. Transgender star Leah Thomas losing an appeal to compete in the Olympics and other elite women's swimming events. Based court upholds a 2022 standard by World Aquatics. Riley Gaines is an